Hi everyone, welcome again to day 6 of Kubernetes project. In today's project, we are going to learn how to do scheduling of pod restart to prevent memory leaks or performance issues. So, what happens in organizations? There will be some requirements where you need to do some regular restart of the pod, maybe on the weekly basis, whenever the traffic is almost to zero. So there are some problems like memory leak happens. So some application might suffer from memory leaks or resource leaks. Where application is gradually consuming more memory or other resources over time without releasing them. And this can eventually lead to performance degradation, crashes, or excessive resource consumption. So some problems are like some applications may accumulate temporary file, session, or data in memory over time, which can eventually lead to slowness or performance bottlenecks. So, what you will learn in this project, how to create or how to deploy the projects which can help you to do automatic scheduling of restart of your pods. So, in this, whatever you will understand is how to do the scheduling of pod restart, how to deal with rule-based access control, that is permission issues, and how to create a namespace in your Kubernetes cluster. Now, first thing comes in our mind, what is namespace? So, namespace in Kubernetes is a way to organize and isolate resources within a cluster. It is useful when multiple team projects or environments like dev, test, or production share the same cluster but need a logical separation. So why use namespace? Resource isolation. So it prevents conflict between different application or teams. Access control. So allow role-based access control to restrict user permission per namespace. Resource quota. Limit CPU, memory, and other resources per namespace to prevent its overuse. And it's a better way to organize as well. So how to create it? kubectl create namespace and my namespace name. So how we will do? kubectl create namespace and then suppose test name. And if you see kc get or kubectl get namespace or namespace short form is ns, then you see here already test name is created 6 seconds away. And if you have to delete it, kc delete ns and then test name, and it will delete that particular namespace. So this way namespace can be created. Now role and role binding. So a role grant fine-grained permissions, example read write permission to resource like pod, services, secrets within a single namespace. Role binding, assign a role to a user, group or service account, granting them the defined permissions. So role is like uh, type of permissions like read, write, and what kind of resources it will be applied like pod, service, secrets, other things in a namespace. Role binding is assigning that particular role to a user or a group or a service account. So granting them a particular kind of permissions. Next concept, how to do scheduling of job. Before that, let us understand what is cron job. In Linux environment, cron job is a way to do a scheduling of jobs. Like you want to run your backup at a specific time, you can go and create a cron job for doing that. So in Kubernetes also, a cron job is a kind of Kubernetes object which is useful for periodic jobs like backup, log rotation, data processing, pod restart, etc. So what is the cron format? So cron job will have 5 star, and this 5 star, the first star will be minute, like what minute you want to deal with the time. Next is hour. Next is day of the month between 1 to 31. Next is month, which month? first month, second month, third month, and then day of the week, which 0 to 6. 0 is Sunday, 1 is Monday, 2 is Tuesday. Month is like first month is January, Feb, March, this way. Day of month is 1, 2, 3, and then hour is 0 to 23, and then minutes 0 to 59. First value is minute, then hour, then day of month, and then day of week. So this is the cron job format. Now, as you understood these things theoretically, let us go and do everything practically. So, first thing, we have to create a deployment. So, what deployment I want to do? I just want to create a deployment and its name is Jenkins and I want to create it in the Jenkins namespace. First, let us see we have Jenkins namespace here or not. So, KC get namespace and I don't see any Jenkins namespace. So first KC create namespace and the namespace name is Jenkins. So you can see namespace Jenkins is created. And if you want to see it got created or not, KC get namespace and then you will see Jenkins is already created 10 seconds ago. Now clear the screen, move next. So once namespace is created, you want to define the specification like one replica, app level is Jenkins, and then we are downloading the image from the internet. So Jenkins long-term support, and if not present, image pull policy. If it's not locally present, then it will pull. Otherwise, it will use the local image, and then it will run on port 8080. So just go here today 6 and just do KC apply -f and your Jenkins deployment. So Jenkins deployment.yml. And if you see KC get deploy -n, now it's in different namespace. So -n Jenkins, and then you see it's still not ready. So KC get PO means pod -n and your namespace name is Jenkins. So you see container creating a state. It's taking some time, but it will be ready. Now, once it is done, then you need to create a service. Service, we are running it on port 8080. So we can do type is maybe node port or load balancer or any type you can define. So KC create -f Jenkins-service.yml, and if you see KC get SVC denotes service -n Jenkins. This is the short form. So you see your service type of load balancer is external IP. It is because local machine, so it's not assigned, but service is created. Now clear the screen and see KC get PO -n Jenkins, and if you see it's in container creating a state here. Just see the logs. KC logs this -n Jenkins and see what is the problem. So it's telling a container in pod is waiting or container creating. Just describe this pod. So KC describe pod and then the pod name. Pod name is Jenkins and then namespace is Jenkins as well. So if you see here, image is pulled, then creating container, started containers. So first you see 98 seconds ago successfully pulling the image and then pulled the image and then created the containers and started containers. Again, see now what is the status. So if you see now, it's in the ready state. So Jenkins is running in our system now. Now, once Jenkins is running, then what next we need to do? Since we want to create a cron job, and what this cron job is doing, its API version is batch/v1, kind is cron job, metadata, name we are telling is weekly pod restart, in which namespace? Jenkins namespace. You can replace with your target namespace. What schedule you want to run? Here 58.8 means 8:58 means in the morning, 8:58 you want to restart it every day. Now, this schedule you understood, right? So in this schedule, let us see when you want to restart. First save this. Then in the job template specifications, you are telling container kubectl and you are using the kubectl image there for restarting it. And then what you are doing? You are running the command kubectl delete pod hyphen label app is Jenkins and namespace is Jenkins. So you are just downloading the qctl inside this cron job, and then you are deleting the particular Jenkins pod. So once you delete the pod will automatically recreate. And restart policies, only if there is a failure it will restart, otherwise it will not restart. And why app is equal to Jenkins? Because if you go in the deployments, here you see level is app is Jenkins. That's why here we are giving app is Jenkins. So now if you want to create this cron job, let us go here and just do kc apply hyphen f cronjob.yml. So your cron job is created now. How to verify it's created? So if you go here and if you do kc get cj means cron job, no, because it's using default namespace, so specify your namespace as Jenkins, and then you see its schedule is 5858. But I have to check my system time. What is the current time in my system? And we can schedule it and check it's working as expected or not. So let us open more sessions of this machine. Okay. And here what I can do, I can first check my nodes. So kc get nodes, and then it's a kind of Docker container. So Docker ps first check, and you see you have multiple nodes. How to first go inside any of the pod? Uh, of so kc is this is Docker execute hyphen it and then slash bin. So this is like I'm going inside one of the pod, and this pod is exactly a node for you because you are using kind cluster. So I'm going inside one of the pod, and here I'm checking the current date. So in date, all our node is having timing in UTC, and current timing is 10:35. So let us do one thing. Let us modify the cron job. Go here and check your time. So it's 10:35 now. You can schedule it at 10:37. So go here and change it 8 to 10, and then here you can schedule it to 37. So now it's 10:37, and then apply kc apply hyphen f cron job hyphen yml. And if you do cron job check now, so you can see it's scheduled for 10:37. And if you go here and check the date again, you will see it's 10:36:22 already. So I hope timing you understood. So let us exit from here and just do kc get po hyphen n Jenkins and keep it running. And then here you see uh, it's 10:37, and within a few seconds there should be something which will be happening here. Let us see what will happen, and then I will explain you the problem, and then again I will explain you the solution of this as well. So if you see now, job active is 0 right now, but now let us put the one, and you see last schedule is 2 seconds ago, one is active. And here if you see, it's in showing pod restart is in the pending state, and here it is again creating the containers. Somehow it's not running, means it's not able to. This job, cron job, this is a cron job, this is pending creating, but our Jenkins is continuously running. So somehow it is not able to restart our pod. Why? Let us see the log of these pods first. So just go here, and if you see kc logs, this hyphen n Jenkins, and you see one error. Error from server forbidden. Pod is forbidden. User system service account Jenkins default cannot list pod in API group in the namespace Jenkins. So here we got some permission issue for our service account which don't have the permissions in namespace Jenkins to list the resources like pod, and then maybe delete those pods as well. So this is the reason we are not able to do our job. So here if you see it has crashback loop off now, and it has given up. Maybe it given up because why? Because it doesn't have the permissions. So if you see again here, so the same error you are getting continuously. So now let us do one thing. Just clean up everything, or clean up this cron job. That's it. So what we can do now, just delete the cron job as of now. So, and then we'll do again kc delete cron job, and your cron job name is weekly pod restart, and then your namespace is Jenkins. So I have deleted. If you do now kc cron job, so you have nothing. It's fine. Now, first go and see the code. So cron job, we got some error that these pods, cron job pod, cron job is creating a job and job is in form of pod. So one pod is not having permission to list the resources and even delete the resources. So for that purpose, we have role. And what is this role? RBAC authorization, KTS, IOV1, and kind is role. Metadata namespace Jenkins. Name is pod reader I am giving. And then rule we are telling all the API group, whatever the API group for pod, resource is pod, and verb is like permission. So verb is telling getting, listing, and deleting permissions, and then API group applications for resource deployment type, getting, listing, and deleting. So now this role will help to get, list, and delete both for deployment and pod, and which namespace Jenkins, and then the uh, name of this role is pod reader. So go and first, before deploying the cron job, kc apply hyphen f pod reader role dot yml. So our pod reader role is done, but this role is now not used by anyone. So you have to do the binding, like this role needs to be binded with someone. So if you go to pod role binding, then kind is role binding, metadata name is pod reader binding, namespace is Jenkins, subject you are telling service account. In the default namespace we have a service account, name is default, and in namespace Jenkins, what you are telling role references, kind is role, name is pod reader, and API group is RBAC authorization K-0. So this will bind and give your default service account the permissions in the namespace Jenkins. So if you go here and now do kc apply hyphen f pod role binding binding.yml. So now your role binding is done. Now create the cron job again. But this cron job is 1037. So go here inside the pod and then inside the node and check the time and accordingly identify. So it's 1041. We will make to 1043. So go here and make it 1043. Save this and then just go kc create kc create hyphen f cronjob.yml and clear the screen. And now if you see kc get cj hyphen n Jenkins, then it is scheduled for 1043. Right now active is 0. And here if you see just the timing now, it's 10:41:55. So wait for 1 minute. Meanwhile, let us see working. Here we can do kc get po hyphen n Jenkins, and you see one pod is running. Put the watch over it, and here you can here you can see your cron job again. So your cron job is still not active because it needs 1 minute, right? So 1 minute of time it needs to get active. So within a minute it will be active. Let us wait for this. Meanwhile, let us change the color so that you can define. So this one here we are running, putting the watch on the cron job. So right now active is 0, and here pod is still in the running state, and we don't see anything. And in this screen it's not in the active state yet. So it will take, since we have put 1043 and UTC time is still not 1043, that's why we are waiting. Within a minute it should be active is 0. So now you see here Jenkins has started creating, and here you see one job is active, and here if you see Jenkins is running 1 second ago. And if you see now, kc get pods hyphen n Jenkins, and what you will see. So your job is also completed successfully, the pod related to cron job, and your Jenkins is restarted in 18 seconds. And if you see the log of this, what you will see, let us see, kc logs this hyphen n Jenkins. And what you see, so it is giving some message and these are the message. But anyhow, finally it was able to restart, and we got no any error. Our pod got restarted successfully. And if you do kc get cj cron job now hyphen n Jenkins, and you will see active will be 0 again, because last schedule was 57 seconds ago. It has already done the job, and now timing is 10:43. You can define every Sunday, so you can modify this. Instead of this star, you can put 0. So every Sunday 10:43 it can restart. This way you can change the schedule of your cron job, which will help you to do automatic job which you want to perform. So I hope you understood how cron job works, how exactly we can do weekly restart of pods, or how to deal with the cron job, what is role binding, and how everything works collectively. Thank you so much guys for giving your valuable time. Have a great day ahead.